Last Looks kind of gives you a feel of other films that you've seen, which is a good thing, but also could be a bad thing, because whether you are or have a niche for this type of film, then you will love it. Then if you don't, then you kind of will be bored. But nonetheless, I think you should ultimately still check it out. Enough star power in here alone for you to want to watch this. But I'll break it all down, and let's jump into my review of that film right now. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Last Looks, coming to theaters on demand and digital February 4th. Now, this film, like I said, has a pretty solid cast. Charlie Hunnam, Morena, Baccarin, Mel Gibson. You have Cliff Method Man Smith. Clancy Brown. Just notable names attached to this film that is truly worth checking out. But when I say this film has a certain niche to it, it kind of gives me vibes like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that retro feel, even with like the delivery of some of the jokes, which is a good thing because that was a fantastic film. So this film definitely drives down that path, if you ask me. But ultimately, I think it's a very much of a if this is your cup of tea type of thing. But for what it's worth, in this film, you have this character, Charlie Waldo, who is an ex-LAPD officer superstar. He's off the grid. He's pretty much retired, but he's brought back on for a special case, and that brings us to Mel Gibson's character, Alistair, who is this actor who plays basically this drunk Judge Judy. But when his wife is found dead, he becomes the main suspect. And that's ultimately because, I mean, like, when you see how he lives his lifestyle, when you see the character he portrays, and almost sort of a nonchalant personality at times, I mean, it all leads towards him. But that's where Charlie Waldo is now brought to come into, he's convinced to come out of retirement now to get to the bottom of this. And so with his investigation, he comes across all sorts of different people. Gangsters, Hollywood executive, preschool teachers, to really do whatever he can to clear his name or to confirm his guilt. And it's also a very interesting ride because the character Charlie got his own closet of skeletons, shall I say. So there's some really interesting things that comes about. It's fun, it's campy at times, there's really good acting. But, you know, the pacing is what gives you that retro feel. The aesthetic gives you that retro feel. But ultimately, yeah, it's good. It's one of those kind of brainless type of films where you just kind of sit back. You don't take it too serious. You really let these characters work. You really let these actors cultivate their scenes and do what they do best. And, you know, you just kind of go with the flow. It's about 2 hours long, and it feels like 2 hours primarily because of the pacing. But it was 2 hours and I'm okay with it being 2 hours. And that's something I don't typically say. And I thought there were some really good scenes together, especially with Morena and Charlie. I thought they had some really entertaining scenes. Method Man had a minimal role, but when he was there, you couldn't help but to laugh. Mel Gibson does what Mel Gibson does best. And in this character, I wouldn't even be mad if we got like a whole thing with him, because this character, this drunken judge, shall I say, he played. I would be for that. I would be for a whole television show if that was possible, you know. But yeah, again, I think if this film jumps out at you, it's like I should check that out, I think you should. I think it's definitely a very, I can't stress enough, a niche film where you say like, oh yeah, this is my type of film. This is how I like my films to feel. Especially if you're a fan of old school cinema, I think it just drives right down that alley for you. But for one that's looking for more of an upbeat, much more satirical, and just completely off the rails, this is not quite it. This one is driving on the train pretty fast, but it's still very hinged, you know? So, you know, that in terms of the comedy, not in terms of the pacing. So, but I liked it. I would absolutely think this is a good film to kind of kick back, watch on the weekend, and, you know, be in a mixing bowl of different opinions, and yeah, put out your claim, whether you liked it or not. So, but again, you get an opportunity to check out this film February 4th in theaters, on demand, and digital. Jump in the comments after you check it out for us. Let me know if you liked it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was things that you liked? All that good sorts of stuff. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.